I'm so excited to be here with you this morning, Des. Like, I cannot even. I was so excited last night that I had trouble sleeping. That's the good kind of trouble
I
sleeping.
love that.
Like I couldn't wait for 9:30 to get here
You're
today.
so cute. I was like so devastated when I texted you like 5 o'clock this morning, and I was like, I'm on 5G, so should we reschedule? But it did not feel right in my body. And I was like, we'll just try it on the 5G.
I mean, it's worth a try. Look, if it fails, we reschedule. But I will tell you that as soon as you told me you were having internet problems, I did start making a plan in my head for how I could serve my community just in case. Because I'm a business coach. That's what I do.
I love
And
that.
I did immediately go through that dialogue in my head. Okay. What would it be like if we just like had technical problems and didn't show up? How would I tell my community about? What could I offer them instead? Like, how could this work? But then you were like, we're going to do it. So I didn't have to make those plans.
I love that.
Okay.
But I love that you
So the
were
store,
planning.
I, of- are you kidding?
I
Like,
was not
you have,
planning. I was like, okay, I'm just going to let them know I'm not showing up, and then I'm going to just take a nap. I don't know.
well, I wasn't
So I
planning
need a
for what
coach.
you were going to do. I was planning for what I was going to do. And then if any of those plans involved inviting you in, like to give you, something alternate, I would have done that too.
Thank you.
Um, okay. So I wondered if you remembered how we met here because it's been about a year ago. And what happened was I came across your work. And that was the universe doing that for us. It's
Yes.
not like, oh my gosh, you just showed up one day. That was the universe putting us together. And I just fell in love with your work before I fell in love with you. And I loved your work
Oh,
so much that I reached out and I was like, I would just love to thank you in person. Can we hop on a Zoom so I can tell you how much this means to me? And then on a whim, I said to you, do you want a business coach? Because I'm a
I
business coach
know.
and I think we could try that. And I think I've only done that maybe 3 times because that's pretty weird for a business coach to be like,
Mhm.
I mean, for you to not express any interest. That's pretty bold for me to just say, would you want this? And
Well, I
I
think it's
made
pretty
that offer
aligned.
knowing I agree. And it's also strange because it is very strange for a business coach to say, let's just do this. And it doesn't even matter to me right now if you can pay me now or not, or we'll figure a rate out. Like, I don't care, but I feel compelled to do this. I have done that a few times, and every time it has worked out beautifully. But what's funny is it's a much bigger risk for you to take me up on that offer than it is for me to offer. Business coaches already hate me because I break all the rules of business coaching,
Yes, you
like
do.
all the
Thankfully.
capitalist rules of business. Yeah, thank God. So they already hate me. But it's really brave of you to take that chance. I think one thing that I figured out pretty early on is that both of us are like, what the hell? Why not? The worst that can happen is it won't work out and maybe we'll get hurt or something and we'll just figure it out and deal with it.
Yeah.
And there aren't many people out there like that. So I really appreciate that about you because I'm like that too.
Well, thank you. That's
And
very mutual because I'm very much that person, right? Because it is true. What's going to happen? And when you dare to be in community or in relationship with people, you're always going to take a chance, right? Like I can't know if we're going to mesh well, meld well, be able to be in community if I don't take a chance, right? And then you always know you're taking a chance to have harm happen, right? I talk about that here often, right? But that's normal relationship cycles. There's a rupture repair cycle. So if there's harm, I also feel very much, I will say that you are not fragile, which I really deeply appreciate when working with white women specifically in this work, right? Like I don't do other things work wise. So in this work, it can be very intense to hear me. Right. And I don't pull any punches. So I really do appreciate how you are showing up and being like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to be uncomfortable. You're going to say some shit that's going to make me uncomfortable because I'm not like, I don't perform, right? Like, and I don't like, it's not different in the background, right? So, like, to turn around, I think it's bold of you. Like, so thank you for, like, yes, I will take that. But I think it's bold of you to turn around and be like, I'm going to work with this woman because like I said, I'm not here to make you comfortable, right? Like, truth is an uncomfortable process. Unpacking is an uncomfortable process. And you had already done so much of that work within yourself and within your business that you were poised and positioned to then work with me. So, pat yourself on the back too for that bold move to know that you'd be able to hold the complexity. And there have been times where we are having conversation, you're like, I need to sit with that. Right? Like, and I love that. I love that because I can't do fragility and work, right? Like we were talking about that. Yes, I say yesterday, but for me, like my only days that are actually working, existing in my brain are when I'm live. But we were talking about that on Wednesday about like, what does it feel like to not collapse, right? Like to stay. Like I'm going to be uncomfortable, right? I may need a moment, and that's fine. Like, oh, no problem. That's part of that community care, right? Like, but you don't collapse, at least with me in my experience, and I deeply appreciate that. Let me see. Sue says these conversations are like water in the desert for me.
Me
Oh, I
too.
fucking
Me
love
too.
you guys. I really just wish you really. I was talking to Kay before we went online 1,000 years ago because I've always, who I am now, I promise you, I've always been some version of this. It may not have been as polished, if you believe this or not. This is polished.
This is the polish I love. This is the polish level that I think is perfection.
This is polished,
Just
baby.
right. Just
Thank
right.
you. But I was talking to her beforehand. We were talking about my big hair, and I was like, well, growing up, my hair icons were Julia Roberts and Howard Stern. Again, they were just like so against the norm, right? Like they weren't coiffed. They weren't, like this whitewashed. And considering my world was white around me, right? Even though, like I said, growing up, I had understood ethnic identities before I